Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. This is Vegas and I'm Hammond, and we are here to talk about how to hold your scissors when we are doing grooming, even home grooming. You gotta have some basic scissor skills. And as a real hairdresser for 20 years, I have been holding scissors since when I was 20. So I think I am able to give you guys some tips on how to hold your scissors and improve your scissor work. So here we go. Of course, you will need a pair of scissors. The one I have right here is a curved one that I usually use for all the round work. Let's talk about the first thing, the position of your placement of your fingers. As you can see on the scissors, that usually they have a different design. Some of them they even have a little hook, and what's that for is for you to place your pinky like this. So this is how you should do it. And you should always try to keep your scissors horizontal, at least the blades. And when you move, let me hold it correctly first. When you move, you're actually trying to move the blades only with your thumb. So if you can see, watch closely, what we're trying to achieve is that we are trying to chop things off with only the blade that I'm moving with my thumb. All right? So once you have this mastered, or at least you know how to hold your scissors, there's also one more thing that's very important, is the placement of your arm, your position, your posture, and your elbow. Because let's say if we try to use horizontal, but somehow you're keeping your shoulder down, so you're kind of like doing this, then your scissors might be going all over the place. So what we usually do is that we try to keep our elbow up like this. So when we move, we're not moving our wrist. Our wrist is basically locked in position. So we're just moving the blades with our whole arm. Yes, it's tiring, but that's how I learned, at least 20 plus years ago. Yeah, so this is how you do it. So this is something that you could practice on. And then of course there is a thing called the front hand and the back hand. Sometimes in my videos you will see that when I'm cutting let's say the sides, I'm using a front hand. A front hand is when I get to see the blade on this side with the screw, like this. But there are times when I will have to do it like, let's say, underneath like this. Oh, no, don't stick your tongue out. It's dangerous. Yeah, so this is what I call a backhand. And how does that work is, if you can see, when I'm holding it like this is front hand. And if I flip it to the back like this is what I call a backhand. All right? The next thing is how to hold your scissors when you're not using it. Because there are times when you will be working on the cut, and then you want to use your comb but you don't want to put down your scissors. So what do you do is that is one way to do it, is to just hold it real tight and with your comb next to it. But if you're a beginner, I would say don't do it, because it can be dangerous, because there will be times when you didn't realize that the blades are a bit open. And if you're working around with blades open like this, is super dangerous for both you and your Bichon. All right, so there's one way to go get around to it. If you don't want to drop it on the table, you could also keep it like this. So you actually flip your scissors and use your pinky to hold on to it, to have a grip that is real tight, so the blades are close and the blade is just next to your arm. Then, you see, the blade is not poking at anyone except yourself. That's one way to do it. If you feel like you want to do this, you can give it a try. But I mean, with a big blade like this, just put it on the table, do all the combing, and then come back. Just make sure that to always try to keep your blades close. All right. First, do not open wide when you work. Always just do this, just small snips. There's no need to open it this wide, because as you can see, Bichons, they can move around. And even someone like me, that I have 20 years experience with scissors, I also accidentally cut Vegas's tongue last year. So just make sure that when you're working, always just small snips like that. All right, there's no need to do big snips. And then also we have to remember how to maintain your scissors. You will probably need some oil, and usually you can get clipper oils, like small little oils that come with your clipper. And then you will need to add those just a tiny little bit at this point, where the joint, where the screw is. Just a little bit right there. And that's to help to keep your blades lubricated, because when you start using it, there will be hair and dust and whatnot will get stuck in there, and there will be times when you feel like, hey, this is not working well. So that's one way to maintain it. And also about the screw, you also have to check your scissors, whether if you could just tighten the blade just by using the screw here, because that's also important. If your blades are too tight, then your thumb will be super tired doing this, or maybe it's just super difficult just to do this motion. But when your scissors is too loose, let's say if the screw is too loose, that's also not great, because then your scissor is actually falling apart. Then there's too much gap in between, and that could cause some hair catching in there, or maybe it's not aligned well. So you have to find the sweet spot for your scissors, and every scissors is different, so you just have to check for yourself. And then also tips for beginners: if you feel that you're overwhelmed and you're afraid of using scissors, you're not used to it, I would suggest maybe the first week or so, just hold your scissors, just keep it in your hand. And that's how I learned in the beginning. Go watch something on Netflix, hold your scissors, play around with it until you really feel comfortable. Hey, yeah, I'm okay with this instrument in my hand. I can handle it. I'm not dropping it. I'm not opening it by mistake or something. That's one way to do it. And then second, you can also already try just placing your hand with the scissors around him or around your Bichon, and just imagine yourself doing the work. Let's say if you're cutting the top, maybe you can use a front hand like this and do snip, 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 but you're not really cutting it, you're just practicing those motions so you get used to it, so you don't feel, doesn't feel scary when you're doing the real thing. Because being confident makes a lot of difference, because I'm pretty sure the Bichon knows that if you are confident or not. Right? And then back to the thing about that, even me, that I accidentally cut his tongue, because he really likes to stick his long tongue out. So these days I keep a small pair of basic scissors like this. Let me yeah. So this actually came along with my old pet clipper from Wall, and this one was a very basic one, as you can see. It's just like any of your house scissors. You can't kill anything, you just can't. But it's great, because nowadays, if I really want to trim these small hairs around his mouth, or if I want to do small detail works, places that are very sensitive, I would use this one. So as a beginner or as a home amateur groomer, why not? If it works, it works. So my last tip for you is practice makes perfect. Always try to be more realistic with your expectations. When I first started to groom Vegas 7 years ago, because yeah, he's turning 7 in March. I was already a hairdresser, and I know scissors and I know haircuts and stuff like that. But even that, I find it overwhelming. It was so different because he's not my customer, he's not a human, he has hair all over, and dog hair is different from real haircuts. So it also took me some time to get used to, let's say getting used to his body, how the hair reacts, and what can be done and what not, what he likes and what he doesn't. So yeah, I mean, for beginners, maybe you can set yourself some goals. Let's say for the first month or so, I want to just make sure that I can hold my scissors right, or maybe I can do some small snips, haircuts without any problem. But if you think that you want to aim for using a scissor to get a real, a proper cut all over in the first try, that is going to be difficult. So don't push it. I mean, just give yourself small expectations, small goals to reach. Alright, so that's about it for holding scissors. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, and of course subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll see you around. Vegas, say bye. No, not this one. You want treats, right? You want treats. All right, let's show everyone. Boja. High five. High five. Yeah. All right, you're a good boy, huh? All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.